Inch bothers me. He's shown what he's capable of. What if he finds out about our plan?
How would he? We're careful.
He's more ruthless than we expected. The bomb on the train. I don't want to think about it.
We need to make sure that we stay calm.
You mean that I stay calm?
I'm not worried about you. I know you.
Shall we go over the plan one more time?
Good idea. We know that Inch hid the first eye in the Baroness's luggage.
I'll break into her cabin and replace the eye with a fake.
Right. We'll steal the second eye in Cairo.
And Inch will be caught in the act.
It's simple.
The devil is in the detail. I have to get into the Baroness's cabin undetected, then find the secret hiding place, and I can't leave any evidence behind.
Yes. And Inch said something about a combination, so the hiding place might be locked.
One step at a time. I think I'll assess the situation first.
And I think I'll make myself comfortable for a little while.
So this is how married life will be.
Works for me.
Everything went according to plan in London?
Except for the explosion, yes. The Bobby was right on time.
Because he had a good tip-off.
I had enough time to take the eye, but unfortunately there was no time to replace it with the fake.
Where is it? A work of art. Almost as beautiful as the original.
I can't tell the difference.
Inch could. But if all goes to plan, he won't have a chance to take a closer look at the jewel until after the burglary at the Egyptian Museum. Will Legrand cause any trouble?
Everything's still going according to plan. That means he's clever, but not clever enough.
And the Bobby?
Peasant's cunning, nothing more. He won't be able to solve the puzzle on his own.
There's still Inch.
He doesn't suspect anything. We laid the foundation well. I've been his assistant for months already. He doesn't trust me, but he thinks he can play me for a sucker. That's enough.
Speaking of Inch, I saw him talking to you in Venice. What was it about?
He was angry because his attack on the train failed and because I lost my ticket.
How did you get on the ship?
As a stowaway, locked in a cold, dark cargo hold.
Poor boy. I'll go out now and lead the police and master thieves around by the nose.
I can think of something else to do.
I can't.
I'm sure I could help you if...
Stand aside. If you told me what you're looking for. You're just getting in my way. Now get out.
I'll wait at the door, madam.
Yes, yes.
Oh, Miss...
Mayers?
Can I help you?
No, I'm just having a look around the ship. Good day. Oh, that was close. Lovely big towel. I hope tomorrow I'll have a chance to sunbathe and enjoy the rest of the trip.
Bravo! Bravissimo! Fantastico! Ha ha!
Would it be okay for you if I get some fresh air up on deck?
Of course, my dear. Give my regards to the sea.
A wonderful concert, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have expected you to be a connoisseur of classical music.
Because I'm American?
Because you're young, and friendly, and radiant. Someone like you doesn't have to know a lot to get along well in life.
Are you easily prejudiced at your age?
In my long experience, there's often a core of truth at the center of every prejudice.
Prejudice is the reason of fools.
Was that written in the book you once read?
Oh, I've read many books. Good books.
But not my books, you mean to say?
You're a writer?
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you, Miss...
Mares. You know, I'm not planning on throwing myself at a man.
I'm glad to hear it. You have to work. Earn your own money.
Oh, I will. My grades are excellent, and I really want to study acting in New York.
None of my books has ever been made into a good film. The stories were twisted, shortened, and simplified so that even the dimmest fellow could follow them.
I want to do theater and travel. I speak 3 languages.
That would be 3 more than most people your age can speak. Do what you have to do. But stay away from bad men.
Is this your first trip on the Lydia?
That's quite enough. Life is too short for conversations like this. I do wish that rather delightful Swiss policeman had come along.
I heard you had an interesting trip on the train.
It was thrilling. I'm hoping for an encore. Perhaps in Cairo.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Wooden salad tongs, just small enough to carry around unseen. I'm not an expert, but I think that Mr. Kreutzer really is a very skilled violinist. At least, I liked it, and the captain was certainly smitten. The poster proudly announces the ship's first Atlantic crossing. The city of New York welcomes the MS Lydia. Inch is intelligent and ruthless, a dangerous combination. He's not a brilliant planner, but he is smart and careful. He senses danger. I'm afraid he might suspect that something is wrong. I think he's frightening. You look in his face and you'd believe that he's at peace with the world and himself. But Adil told me about his moon swings. From one moment to the next, the mask falls away, and he's capable of anything. No use worrying about him now. I have a job to do. Several journals and magazines. Ah, this looks pretty interesting. Art and Culture Today. Ah, there's something about the exhibition. Unique masterpieces exhibited for the first time together in their home country. Tireless efforts of Baroness von Trebitz. We briefly discussed whether we should try to steal the second eye here on the ship. The lack of escape routes and the 10-centimeter thick door to the safe settled the question. Legrand is an important part of our plan. He's the one who'll arrest Inch in the end, but there's still a lot to do before that happens. The only regular event seems to be the nightly drink in the saloon. Judging from the rest of the entertainment program, it seems necessary.
Come in.
How can I help you, young lady?
Are you the ship's doctor?
Yes, of course.
You see, that's what I thought, because you've got a uniform and you work in the medical center.
Well spotted, young lady. My name is Dr. Gebhardt. How can I help you?
What are the other passengers like?
Listen, young lady, I do not really have time to chat right now. Today is my first day, and it is going differently than I had expected.
You do seem a little stressed. Maybe you should relax. Stress isn't good for you.
You're right. If there is nothing else I can help you with.
But you weren't really helpful at all. Maybe I'll come back later. Bye now. Very fine handiwork. The model maker even wrote the name of the ship on the tiny life preservers. But the winter garden at the back of the saloon is missing. And the stern deck looks different. It was obviously made before the ship was remodeled. He has the enviable talent of being able to sleep anywhere, anytime. He once fell asleep on a cable car and only woke up after he'd already gone up the mountain and back down again. Okay then. I am Patricia Mayers. Young, attractive, clueless. I am Patricia Mayers. We booked this cabin because it's centrally located. Easy to duck in whenever we need to. Of course, the fact that it's a first-class cabin with a huge bathroom and shower had nothing to do with it. Normally I don't carry so many things around, but it would have been suspicious if I'd come aboard with nothing but a rucksack whilst pretending to be the daughter of a wealthy family. I got this necklace from my father. It's supposed to remind me that money isn't the most important thing in life. If all you've got is this penny, as well as family and friends, then you're a very rich girl, he said. I'll take it with me. It'll bring me luck. I don't like wearing hats, but they do fit the role. And I have to admit that the day in London when we shopped for Patricia Mayers was a lot of fun. Practicality was definitely placed ahead of design here. I guess the Lydia regularly docks at harbours that don't have their own gangways, and rather than make the passengers climb ladders, they opted for the less beautiful alternative. Two handsome sailors are standing at the table and studying a marine map. Good thing they're busy. I can have a look around without being disturbed. A classic. The thief enters through the ventilation shaft. Can it really be that easy? No, it can't. The cover is screwed shut. All the first class, but... No idea what kind of flag this is. But the pole it's attached to could be very useful one day. It's about 80 centimeters long and looks quite stable. Yes, it's sturdy, but it's also too cumbersome to carry around. I could tie the bath towel around the pole, put the pole across the ventilation shaft, and climb down with the help of the towel. Sounds like a plan. No, there's no gap to put the pole in. The penny might be the right size. The penny fits perfectly into the screw slot, but my fingers aren't strong enough to turn the screw. That's it. I can jam the penny in and make an improvised screwdriver. Right. That's it. I just hope that this is the right shaft. I'm not squeamish, but if there's a rat waiting for me, I'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, Jakob Aust. I finally got you. I'll have them arrest you and justice will be done.
Can I be of assistance, madam?
Yes, you can get out of the way.
Shall I tidy up, madam?
No, it's time to celebrate.
Excellent. The coast is clear. Impressive for a quick drink on the go. A suitable glass for every occasion. But most of them look more or less unused. The Baroness probably disregards style and etiquette when she's drinking alone, and just uses the same glass. Napkins and towels, but no jewel. More bottles. Might be the good stuff. Gin, whiskey, liqueur, sherry, vodka, brandy, and champagne. Every bottle is at least half empty. What's that? A small leather strap. Aha! Nefertiti, Guernica, A.D., Buonarroti's Adam. This could be a memory aid for the Baroness. And it would explain how Inch discovered the combination. I'm going to copy the hints. As I see it, I have to decipher these clues to find 3 of the symbols. Then I can guess the 4th. Well, Nefertiti was an Egyptian queen. The monogram and the 2 other clues aren't much help. I'd put money on the Eye of the Sphinx being behind this door. I don't think anyone would bet against me. To me, it looks like a combination lock. A good one, too. The door only opens when the right symbols are in place. It seems like she was searching for a specific photo, and that she actually found it. Jakob Aust. Now I've got you, she said. We got our hands on the list of passengers, but I don't recognize the name. Hundreds of black and white photos, many of them tinted. From the 20s and 30s, I guess. Ugh, I don't have time to deal with them. The Baroness wrote something down and took the slip of paper with her. It's probably not important. The mannequin could probably wear my clothes. It'd disappear under the Baroness's clothes, though. As a child, I often stood in front of shop windows and tried to stand as still as the mannequins. When I got bored, I claimed that one of the mannequins had blinked and declared myself the winner. Not even Adil would believe that this painting was an original. He was interested in art when we first met, but for him it was always about the content, not the technique. I had my work cut out teaching him to concentrate on the stroke, the material, and the signature of the artist. It's the only way to distinguish an original from a fake. I don't care who painted it as long as it speaks to me, he said. A perspective that, as an art thief, I can't share, but it's charming nonetheless. I'm sure that the eye is in the Baroness's luggage. I'm here to steal one of the most valuable jewels in the world, not to swipe the contents of handbags. Luckily, I don't have to go through all these suitcases. Inch has been traveling with this woman through Europe for months. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. I wonder what the corkscrew, bottle opener, coast. I've copied the hint. Maybe someone on board can help me to figure out at least 3 of the 4 symbols. There are outlines of animals. A dog, a cat, a bear, and a rooster, amongst others. 8 symbols per cylinder. That means more than 4,000 possible combinations. If only... But whilst I don't know... That was close. Maybe it was a steward who checked whether everything was ready for the Baroness's nightly rest. Whoever it was, I should leave as fast as possible before someone comes back. What on earth is going on here? I don't like that. Is someone else after the eye as well? But even if that is the case, what does the audio tape have to do with it? I can't let it get to me. I have a job to do. Maybe the art magazine will help me with the symbols. Indeed. An article about the different works of art and how they survived the Second World War. And there's also a picture of the bust of Nefertiti. The unique Egyptian work of art was 1913. Permission to export to Germany. Second World War. Safe at the Reich Bank. Then a bunker. And then a salt mine. Prevented from shipping the bust to the United States. Back in Berlin since 1956. Very glad. Blah, blah, blah. Soon in the Egyptian Museum of Berlin, and hopefully someday in a reunified Berlin on the Museum Island. Okay, so the bust of Nefertiti is located in Berlin. Berlin. The bear! The Berlin Bear! There's a bear on Berlin's coat of arms. Nefertiti, bear. That's it! I have to find out where the other works of art are located and which animals are associated with those cities. Now I know what to look for. It'll be child's play. It seems like Dr. Gebhardt was able to wrestle himself away from his work, but he still doesn't seem to be very relaxed. Quite the opposite. And why won't he go to the saloon? Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Do you usually ask strangers random questions?
I'm curious. How shall I learn if I don't ask?
Pick up a book.
I've got a puzzle for you.
Why do you always bombard me with strange questions? I can't imagine why.
Oh, come on. You're the queen of mysteries.
Well, what is it then?
A monogram. A capital A with a small d on the bottom. Who does it belong to?
Someone on the ship?
No. No one on the ship.
I don't know. Whose is it?
I don't know either.
It doesn't make much sense to ask a riddle if you don't know the answer. Wouldn't you agree?
Actually, I'd say that it doesn't make sense to ask someone a riddle if you do know the answer.
Touché.
I saw a sign in Venice. It said Buonarroti. Do you know what it means?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian.
May I take my leave?
You may.
The Baroness seems to have a reason to celebrate. She's downing one glass of champagne after another. The less I have to do with her, the better. Although, based on her alcohol consumption, I don't really think I have to worry about that. He's sweating profusely. Burst capillaries and a sweet odor. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. Hello, Captain DeCanti.
Miss Myers, how nice to see you. You look beautiful. We missed you at dinner.
I was in my cabin. I didn't feel very well.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better.
Guernica, does that mean anything to you?
Not a harbor that I've ever docked at.
Ah, that's too bad. Do you have any idea what the monogram AD might stand for?
AD. There was an Admiral De La Celle in the Navy who always signed AD because he didn't want anyone to know that his first name was...
Oh, it couldn't have anything to do with him.
Well, no. I have no idea then.
Buonarroti. That sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Ha! You can say that again. Buonarroti is the name of the greatest artist of all time. Michelangelo Buonarroti, who most people only know by his first name. Just imagine, one man, an Italian, achieves perfection in all three movements of graphic arts. His David is the most famous statue in the world. As an architect, he was a genius. He built parts of St. Peter's Basilica.
And as a painter, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
The creation of Adam. The spark of life leaps from God to Adam. One of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yes, it is. Does Vatican City have an animal on its coat of arms?
No.
And the Pope?
Every pope has his own emblem. But the new one doesn't have an animal.
You don't seem to like the new Pope.
It's too early to say. But who's fit to hold a candle to John the 23rd? Il Papa Buono, as we used to call him. The good Pope.
He just died recently. What was his heraldic animal?
He was a lion, and so was his heraldic animal.
For a Catholic, Buonarroti's Adam could be a mnemonic for the lion. Pope John XXIII was elected in the Sistine Chapel like every other pope. I just need one more animal. Captain DeCanti?
Yes? I hope you won't give an old salty seed.
I'll be there.
Wonderful.
Dr. Gebhardt, getting some fresh air?
Oh, you could say that.
Do you know what the monogram AD stands for?
What?
A capital A with a small d below it.
Yes, I do. Will you leave me alone if I tell you what it means?
You know.
It is not just any monogram. It is the first. Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, signed all his works with it. He was the first artist to sign all of his work with a monogram. It was not common to do so before then.
Are you sure?
His wooden engravings were, and still are, printed billions of times in Germany.
Billions of times. You're exaggerating.
Not at all. His work appears on German marks.
And what?
That's enough. I told you what you wanted to know. Please, leave me alone now.
Adil,
In the shower.
I found the secret compartment.
Oh, brilliant! And the jewel?
I'm working on it. Adil,
Yes?
the secret compartment is secured with a combination lock.
Is there any way in?
Not without leaving evidence. I need the combination.
Are there any hints?
A memory aid consisting of several works of art. There are animals on the lock.
The works of art might hint at specific animals.
You don't say, genius. I've already got that far. About the combination,
Yes?
Guernica, Sounds Spanish, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a city in the Basque region.
Does it have a heraldic animal? Or maybe the region has one?
I don't know. I've never been there. I just know it because the city was bombed by the Nazis during the Spanish Civil War.
Nazis? In the Spanish Civil War?
Well, not officially, of course. At the request of General Franco, his friends from Germany reduced a defenseless city to ashes and rubble. Picasso immortalized the bombing in his famous painting.
Really? Is it on display in Spain?
Silly. As long as Franco is in charge, he won't allow that.
Where is it?
Oh, no idea. Paris, maybe? Picasso lived there for a long time.
Maybe doesn't help me much. I almost got caught.
What
I
happened?
don't know. A man
Maybe it was a...
and
Huh.
there was no.
Don't
Don't waste all.
Never.
I'll humour the King of Long Showers. I don't know what I'd ask him anyway. Captain DeConti,
Yes?
lovely concert, wasn't it?
You only heard the end. It was really wonderful.
All the more curious that Lady Westmacott embarrassed Mr. Kreutzer like that, don't you think?
I have no idea what got into her. They say she's a difficult person, but maybe it's the privilege of famous people to be a bit strange from time to time. When I was still a young sailor, Enrico Caruso was a passenger on our ship, and he...
I think she's fascinating. She's achieved so much, and all by herself.
Lady Westmacott, oh yes, that's true, the most successful writer in the world.
Do you know any more about her?
Everything. I'm her biggest fan. What do you want to know?
Where is she from? Who were her parents?
Her father was a wealthy British salesman. Her mother died in childbirth. She had an outstanding education, but was a lonely child, they say. Her father was away on business most of the time.
I know how she feels. For many years, my father's career was also more important than me.
Don't say that, my child. Your father paid for the life you now live.
Did Lady Westmacott's father marry again?
Yes, a woman 15 years his junior. She didn't really care for the child. She was something of a high society lady. She made the headlines with her antics more often than the family would have liked.
And her novels. How did she come to be a writer?
In interviews, she always mentions her French tutor, who encouraged her to write when she was a child. After some poems and short stories, she began to write detective novels with great success. The rest is history. The experts are arguing whether she or Shakespeare has sold more books.
Although she doesn't receive the same deference.
That's true. But her books are much more innovative and extraordinary than people generally give her credit for.
And what does an elderly lady like her want in Egypt?
I couldn't really say. She was there many times with her husband, an archaeologist. He died a long time ago.
I heard something about a reception at the Egyptian Museum?
Yes, for the eyes of the Sphinx. Or rather, for the eye. But I don't think she'd go to Cairo just for that. She usually stays away from official events. Didn't participate in the literary scene either. Always stayed as far away as possible from high society. Probably because of her stepmother.
Is it true that you're a war hero?
Mm-hmm. In 2 world wars. That tells you how old I must be.
You're as old as you feel.
Oh God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling well?
You shouldn't burden your pretty little head with the dark thoughts of an old man, my dear.
If you don't feel well, maybe you should take it easy.
I'm afraid if I take it easy, it'll kill me.
You seem to be a pessimist.
Fatty liver, asthma, gallstones, jaundice, gout, shingles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, circulatory trouble, knee problems, pulmonary embolism, gastritis, migraine, neuralgia, tinnitus, rheumatism, pleurisy, thrombosis, and constipation. Those are what's been diagnosed so far. My body is a curse.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I'm sorry.
Forgive an old man. I didn't mean to shock you.
You're still the captain of this beautiful ship.
They couldn't just get rid of me, so they stuck me somewhere where I can't make trouble anymore.
Don't say that.
This ship runs fine without me. The crew knows what to do. They don't need me. They don't want me.
Captain!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm burdening you with all of this. Forgive me, eh? I'd like to rest for a while. Soon enough, it'll be time to head back to the coalface.
Captain DeConti,
Yes?
do you know Albrecht Dürer?
Yes. An artist. Not bad. But he has his weaknesses as well.
For example?
For one, he wasn't Italian.
That's a pity.
You can say that again. At least he lived in Italy for a while.
What else can you tell me about him?
I once overheard an argument on board between a German and a Spaniard about who elevated the woodcut to an art form, Albrecht Dürer or Alberto Durero. Eventually, they realized they were talking about the same man. Ha!
Albrecht Dürer is called Alberto Durero in Spain?
That's right. Don't ask me why.
I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
It must be exciting to meet all the world's famous and powerful people.
I stay away as far as possible from high society. Too shallow. Too boring.
But some of them must be exciting. Have you ever met Picasso?
They told him he's a genius so often that he actually started to believe it himself.
But his paintings are impressive. Guernica, for example.
Well, it certainly is big. I have to give him that.
Didn't he have to flee from Spain?
Yes, from the fascists, but not just him. Many of his paintings as well. If I remember correctly, Guernica is currently on display in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. He bequeathed it to a future Spanish republic.
And until then it stays in New York?
Yes, it's been there for years now.
Have you ever been to New York?
For the love of God, what would I do there? We have the original York in England. That's quite enough for me.
So, you don't know the heraldic animal of New York?
No, probably an eagle. It's all eagles over there.
Are you interested in art?
Not really. I'm more interested in real life, in people.
So, you don't know Albrecht Dürer?
Just because I'm not interested in art doesn't mean that I'm ignorant.
What can you tell me about him?
Books, my dear, books. In them, you'll find the answers to all your questions, even the most foolish ones.
I bet you don't know anything about him, and you just want to cover it up.
Ah, you want to appeal to my honor. Too obvious, I'm afraid.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
Have you ever heard of a Picasso?
No, I am sorry. I do not have time for that.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
A handsome man and a talented musician, but he doesn't seem very happy. Hello, Mr. Kreutzer.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you that I really loved your music, and that Lady Westmacott did not have the right to speak to you like that.
Really? How do you know? You don't know me.
Then, did she have the right?
No, she didn't. That cynical old witch enjoys exposing the weaknesses of others, although we all have them. She as well. She lusts for recognition and acts as though it weren't so disgraceful. She rejects prizes and awards with snide remarks, but she's angry when others receive them. She needs to know that she's better than others.
You seem to know her quite well.
I've only met her once or twice, but I know her son and some of her friends. One friend of hers supported me for a long time. No one is brave enough to say it to her face, but everyone hates her.
Her or her success? You're so talented. Why aren't you performing on the world's great stages?
Fate, perhaps. Or bad luck. My parents opened every door for me and my sister and expected corresponding careers.
Over-ambitious parents who force their children to play music?
No, it wasn't like that. I loved it. I loved to play the violin. They didn't have to force me. I wanted to do it on my own. I thought I would achieve my goals if only I worked hard enough. But it was not to be.
What happened?
In a more dramatic story, I'd say that I broke my hand just before my big break, or that I was rejected because of my nationality or my name, or that I was brought down by a conspiracy. But nothing like that ever happened. I practiced like mad. Got better and better. Really good. But nothing happened. The right people never heard me. I was never in the right place at the right time. Can you imagine how it feels to always be on the cusp of a breakthrough? To be just one evening away from becoming an overnight sensation? To see how other, less talented violinists pass you by because you just aren't lucky enough?
How terrible.
For every star in the limelight, there are a dozen more that burn out unseen, fading month by month. I didn't want to be one of those people who waste their lives chasing dreams without realizing that they're unattainable. If I couldn't have the life that I always dreamt of, and that my family expected from me, then at least I could have the next best life.
The next best life?
Mansions, limousines, parties, everything you could wish for. Though none of it belongs to me.
The lady called you a freeloader.
An ugly word, but maybe not so far from the truth. I move with the rich and famous, and at first glance, I live exactly the life my father always wished for me. A carefree life, easygoing. And I play the violin, which I always loved to do.
But it's not really like that.
It's empty. My life is just a shell. A show, and everyone knows it. I loved something once, and I burned for it. But now, the violin is just an accessory for practicing my real profession.
And your family?
How could I ever look them in the eyes? A failed violinist who gave up.
What does the future hold for you?
Isn't it obvious? My hands are starting to shake from alcohol. What will be left once I lose my good looks? I'll have nothing then. And so I'll put an end to it all.
You can't say things like that.
With my father's pistol, I always have it with me. It's gone. Fate won't even grant me a quick death.
Don't you think you can still make it?
No. It's too late now. The real question is, did I give up too quickly back then?
I don't know.
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye, Mr. Kreutzer. The two of them seem to be in a private conversation. I'd better not disturb them. When Adil and I were following the professor in London, I was disguised. But that doesn't mean he won't recognize me now. Bull, curling, It doesn't make sense whilst I don't know at least 3 of the animals. No, I won't. The bust of Nefertiti. The doctor is upstairs. He probably... Yes. Maybe one of the crew whiled away the long night. Only someone with a lot of time. The lady is not I shouldn't talk to her. Captain DeConti,
Yes?
an old seaman like you must surely have been to New York, right?
Aye, aye. My usual territory is the Mediterranean, but I've crossed the Atlantic many times. It's always a great moment when the Statue of Liberty appears on the horizon.
You wouldn't happen to know the heraldic animal of New York.
No. Maybe an eagle?
I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
A deal
Yes?
about the combination.
Yes.
Guernica hangs in New York.
Okay.
Do you know what the heraldic animal of New York is?
An eagle? It's all eagles over there.
That's the second time I've heard that. But no, it can't be an eagle. Alberto Durero.
What about him?
What's his most famous work?
Hard to say. He did a lot. He was a pioneer of woodcuts and printmaking.
The Baroness left his monogram as a hint, not the name of one of his artworks. So there must be a painting that everyone associates with him.
Not to my knowledge. Although he did have a favorite motif.
And that was...
Himself. He made quite a few self-portraits.
That's it! The artist is the art!
Sounds logical. His most famous self-portrait is in the Prado in Madrid. I saw it with my own eyes 2 years ago.
Does Madrid have something like a heraldic animal?
Sure, it's a bear. It's on the coat of arms and all over the city.
A bear again? Like in Berlin?
Why not? The same numbers appear more than once on normal combination locks.
That's true. The bear then. That's it! 3 animals are all I need. I can guess the 4th. But I could try to find the 4th symbol anyway, just to be sure. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
Baroness von Tribitz? Are you okay? Hello? Baroness? Hello?
Adil,
What happened?
the Baroness. Blood everywhere.
But who?
I don't know. Inch?
That doesn't make any sense.
Don't move. Zellner, up here. We've got our shadow. How are you?
I do nothing. Me crew.
Sure you are. What are you doing here?
Just fresh air.
Sure. You just wanted to get a breath of fresh air. Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our shadow.
And our stowaway.
Were you recently traveling via trunk?
Nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Oh, sure. And you obviously didn't attack me either, did you?
The Baroness won't open her door, sir.
Understood. Take him to the detention cell, Robert. We'll talk later, my friend.
What is? Did nothing.
Inspector Legrand thinks otherwise. Move!
But I have... Gunshot!
I know that! Get moving! Into the cell!
Ah! It wasn't my fault.
What wasn't your fault? That you were walking around the ship? That you let them catch you? That you endangered the whole plan? That you endangered me?
I didn't kill anyone. They arrested me purely by coincidence. They'll have to turn me loose in Cairo. I mean, someone was killed, weren't they? I heard a shot. Why won't you answer?
I'm having a conversation that you cannot hear.
What happened last night?
The Baroness was murdered.
Did you?
No. If it were up to me, she'd have had an accident in a couple of weeks. Instead, someone shot the old bat in the heart point blank.
Are we calling it off?
No. Mr. X is ready, and as her surviving representative, I should be able to move about freely in the museum. The old hag's death doesn't change anything.
How did you get in here?
I'm more than capable of finding the entrance to a cargo hold. Indeed, it was child's play. It's not as though I had to crawl through ventilation shafts or anything so gauche. Swim to Cairo.
So, I stay here and wait?
They'll arrest you in Cairo and question you about the murder. Even if they don't throw you in jail, it'll take days.
And if we find the murderer, then they'd have no reason to hold me.
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you.
Nervous? I would be if I were you.
This Zellner chap wasn't part of the plan. I don't like it.
He's groping about in the dark. Legrand is the real problem.
Still, I'm going to take him out of the picture.
How?
Dr. Gebhardt killed the Baroness. A clever old man, but not clever enough to keep me from finding out.
So you just have to tip Legrand off, and then I'm as good as free.
That's what I thought at first, but then I thought, why waste the opportunity? I put Zellner on the trail of the good doctor. He'll drive Gebhardt into a corner, and when he lashes out in desperation, he might hit our Swiss friend. Maybe even Legrand, if we're really lucky.
You can't do that. The old fella's just doing his job.
And so am I.
Inch. Enough blood has been shed. Inch. No more deaths. Damn! I have to get out of here and warn Constable Zellner.